Imagine this for a second. Two people earn the exact same salary, same education, same city, same opportunities. 10 years later, one of them is financially calm, savings account growing, investments compounding quietly in the background. The other, constantly stressed about money, same income, completely different financial lives. So what happened? Was one person just luckier, smarter, better with numbers? Not really. What separated them was something far less obvious. Not income, not intelligence, but how they thought about money every single day. Because the truth is, wealth isn't built by knowing complicated financial formulas. It's built by small psychological habits that most people never notice. And once you understand these habits, money starts behaving very differently in your life. Most people believe wealth is mostly about math. Earn more, spend less, invest the difference. Simple, right? But if it were purely math, almost everyone earning a decent salary would be financially stable. Yet millions of people, making good money, still feel stuck. You see it everywhere. Someone making $90,000 a year, living paycheck to paycheck. Someone earning six figures, stressed about debt. Meanwhile, another person earning far less quietly builds wealth over time. Why? Because money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional, psychological, sometimes even unconscious. Think about it. Have you ever bought something you didn't actually need, just because you had a stressful day? Or because everyone else seemed to have it? Or because it made you feel like you were moving forward in life? That's not math. That's psychology. And once you understand this, a lot of financial behavior suddenly makes sense. People don't stay broke because they're stupid. They stay broke because their habits quietly work against them. Habits shaped by stress. Habits shaped by social pressure. Habits shaped by how they interpret success. Wealthy people aren't perfect, but they tend to build a few psychological habits that protect them from those traps. And today, I want to walk through the ones that matter most. Not flashy tricks, not complicated investment strategies, just simple habits that quietly build wealth over years. Habit 1. They create space between earning and spending. Most people treat income like oxygen. It comes in and immediately disappears. Bills, food, rent, subscriptions, random purchases, lifestyle upgrades. By the end of the month, there's nothing left. And this cycle repeats for years. But wealthy builders approach income differently. They create space between earning and spending. Meaning this, when money enters their life, it doesn't immediately become lifestyle. Some of it becomes future security first. You've probably heard the phrase, pay yourself first. But psychologically, what this really means is, you're protecting a portion of your income from your future impulses. Because here's something uncomfortable about human nature. If money is available, we will almost always find a way to spend it. A nicer apartment, a slightly better car, another subscription, a weekend trip that isn't that expensive. None of these things feel irresponsible individually, but together, they quietly erase your financial progress. So wealth builders don't rely on discipline every month. They build systems, automatic savings, automatic investments, money moving before they can react emotionally. Not because they're more disciplined, but because they understand their psychology. Habit 2. They resist lifestyle inflation. One of the most dangerous financial habits isn't overspending. It's upgrading too quickly. You get a raise. Naturally, life improves a little. Better apartment, better phone, better vacations. Again, nothing wrong with enjoying life. But the problem is speed. Lifestyle upgrades often happen faster than wealth building. Here's a simple example. Someone earns $50,000. They live comfortably within that life. A few years later, they earn $80,000. Instead of investing the difference, their lifestyle slowly grows to match it. Better rent, more dining out, more travel, more financial commitments. Suddenly, they're making $80,000, but feel exactly as financially stressed as before. Why? Because expenses quietly expanded to fill the new income. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the most powerful forces keeping people financially stuck. Wealth builders handle raises differently. When their income grows, their lifestyle grows slower. That gap between income and lifestyle, that's where wealth forms, not through extreme sacrifice, but through controlled upgrades. Habit 3. They play the long game. The modern world trains us to expect fast results, fast shipping, fast entertainment, fast success stories. But wealth doesn't move fast. In fact, it moves painfully slow in the beginning. And this is where many people quit. Let's say someone starts investing $300 a month. At first, nothing dramatic happens. After a year, maybe $3,600 invested. 2 years, still feels small. 5 years, it's growing, but not life-changing. Most people get discouraged here, but something powerful happens when time keeps going. Compounding starts to accelerate. Money begins growing on top of money, and the curve slowly bends upward. 10 years later, the results look completely different. The problem isn't that investing doesn't work. The problem is that people underestimate how long it takes to feel real. Wealth builders accept the slow phase. They don't expect early fireworks. They understand the timeline. And because they stay consistent, time does the heavy lifting. Habit 4. They don't use money to impress people. Here's a quiet truth about modern spending. A lot of purchases aren't about usefulness. They're about signaling. A nicer car, luxury brands, expensive gadgets. Not because they dramatically improve life, but because they send a message. I'm successful. I'm doing well. I've made progress. The problem is, this game never ends. Because someone will always have something bigger, nicer, more expensive. Trying to keep up financially with other people's lives is like running on a treadmill. A lot of movement, but no real progress. Wealth builders tend to detach from this game. Not perfectly, but intentionally. They focus less on looking wealthy and more on becoming financially stable, which often means something strange happens. From the outside, they may look financially average, but under the surface, their investments quietly grow. Their debt stays manageable. Their future becomes more secure. Habit 5. They protect their future self. This might be the most important psychological shift of all. Wealth builders think about their future self regularly, not in a vague way, but in a practical way. They imagine the version of themselves 10, 20, 30 years ahead, the person who might want freedom from stressful work, the person who might want time with family, the person who might face health challenges or economic uncertainty. Every investment they make is essentially a gift to that future version of themselves. Most people unintentionally do the opposite. They borrow from their future self. Credit card debt, expensive commitments, financial decisions that feel good today, but create stress later. Wealth builders flip that relationship. They allow their current self to live comfortably, but they refuse to steal from their future stability. And that simple shift changes everything. When people imagine wealth, they often picture dramatic moments. Big promotions, huge investments, lottery-like breakthroughs. But in reality, wealth is usually much quieter than that. It's built in ordinary months, ordinary paychecks, ordinary decisions, saving when no one is watching, investing when progress feels slow, ignoring the pressure to constantly upgrade your life. The psychology of money isn't about perfection. It's about protecting yourself from predictable human behaviors, impulses, comparison, short-term thinking. Once you understand those forces, you can design habits that work with your psychology instead of against it. And over time, those small habits quietly compound into something powerful. Not overnight, but steadily. If there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's this. Building wealth isn't about becoming a completely different person. It's about adjusting a few small habits that guide your everyday decisions. And the earlier those habits start, the more time they have to work. So, I'm curious. Which of these habits do you think most people struggle with? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy videos that break down the psychology behind money and life decisions, consider subscribing. Because the more we understand how money actually works in real life, the easier it becomes to build a future that feels calm. Not just successful,